percent of the population. Hispanics, an ethnically diverse group here in Florida, make up about 22% of the population. Now, as for the polls, there have been some reports of very long lines, particularly in Miami-Dade County, people waiting upwards of 3 hours to vote. However, overall, Scott, we have been talking to both state and county elections officials. They tell us there have not been any major problems at the polls to report.
Thanks, Elaine. Nora O'Donnell, Cuban Americans in the Miami area in Florida have long been reliably Republican, but the Hispanic population of Florida has been changing a great deal.
It has been changing. A lot of Puerto Ricans along that I-4 corridor near Orlando as well, and so that has changed the Hispanic makeup of Florida, which in most parts of the country goes overwhelmingly for Democrats, but the Cuban vote generally goes for Republicans. Just want to show you something, too. I mean, if you look at Hispanic population growth there, you see it was just 16.8% in 2000, now 22.9% in 2011. Hispanics are the fastest growing minority in this country. They are going to be a key story at the end of the night.
About 4 million more Hispanic registered voters in this election than there were in 2008.
Right.
Anthony Mason has been looking at our exit polling information, and he's getting a sense of which way the wind is blowing in one of these key swing states. Anthony, what do you see?
Well, Scott, well, first of all, as you mentioned, 5 battleground states now where the polls have closed, all 5 of them still in our toss-up column. We wanted to take a look at New Hampshire, though, and its 4 electoral votes. Independent vote critical in New Hampshire. Nationally, independents make up about 30% of the electorate, but in New Hampshire, it's 43% of the electorate, more than each of the 2 major parties. 4 years ago, Barack Obama overwhelmingly won independents in New Hampshire by a margin of 59 to 39%. He's ahead among independents again in New Hampshire, but his margin has narrowed substantially. He's up just 49 to 47%. And that's a key reason why we have New Hampshire still in the toss-up column. Scott?
Anthony, thanks very much. Now, the other key battle of the evening, battle for the Senate. For the Republicans to take back control of the Senate, they need to end this night with 4 more seats than they started with, and we're able to make a call right now on one of those Senate seats in the state of Maine. CBS News is projecting that Angus King will be the winner in the state of Maine. Angus King is an independent, neither Democratic nor Republican, and he has not told us yet which side he is going to align himself with. The former governor, he's now going to occupy the open seat. Olympia Snowe, the Republican senator in Maine, is retiring from that seat, and so Angus King will be taking that seat. Byron Pitts is keeping up with the campaigns in the Senate and the House for us. Byron?
Well, Scott, it's very likely that Angus King could be a kingmaker once he gets to Washington. He's the independent, Scott, as you said. You can see his gold chair there. And while he hasn't said which side he'll caucus with, both parties believe there's a good chance he could caucus with the Democrats. In Maine, it was a 3-person race between the former 2-time governor of Maine, Angus King, who won. He defeated Democratic State Senator Cynthia King and Republican State Treasurer Charlie Summers. We can look at our map for a second. We were talking to Republicans just a little while ago this evening, and they tell us that they have to win at least one of the 4 seats on the East Coast. They basically consider Maine a loss, since the belief is that King may well caucus with the Democrats. That leaves them with Massachusetts, Connecticut, and Virginia. In Virginia, Republicans tell us, just like the Democrats, they have to do well with women voters. And according to the latest CBS News exit poll, independent women favor George Allen 53% to 46% for Tim Kaine. Scott, the Senate race in Virginia, like the presidential race, is very, very tight at this hour.
Byron, thanks very much. Let's have a look at the presidential race map as it stands at this moment. This is the number of electoral votes that President Obama and Governor Romney have at the moment. President Obama with 64, Mitt Romney with 82. 270 electoral votes are needed to win. The states in red are those that CBS News projects will be carried by Mitt Romney. The states in blue are the states that we project will be carried by the president. The states in white are those states where the polls have closed, but we do not have enough information yet on which candidate is likely to win those states. But the moment we do, no matter what we're doing in our analysis tonight on election night, we will break in with a bulletin every time we project a new state for one candidate or the other. The states in gray are those states where Americans are still voting tonight. We'll be back with more election coverage in just a moment.
CBS News election night coverage is sponsored by Mass Mutual, a company owned by its policyholders.